Good morning. My name is Michel Techi, and this is my capstone presentation. So, I'm Michel Techi, like I said. I'm a French teacher at Arabia Mountain High School. It's a school in DeKalb County. I've been teaching now for 8 years, and I really enjoy sharing the French culture with a student. I really love teaching French. Now, let's get into the presentation. So my topic for this capstone was about increasing student engagement in world language class. Okay, so this is my topic. How can teacher use technology to increase student engagement in world language class? So this is my topic, and during this presentation, I'm going to show you the step and the outcome. So this is the world language department at my school. You can see the picture. So they are all Spanish teacher. I'm the only French teacher here. So this is the world language department at Arabia Mountain High School. So we have 5 Spanish teacher and I'm the only French teacher. Now, before I started the capstone, I assessed the school reality about student engagement. And this is what the world language classes looks like. You see, the students were very bored. The classroom were not engaged. And when I observed the Spanish teacher, I told myself I got to do something. A world language class supposed to be a vibrant class where everybody's engaged. The language itself is already engaged because you cannot be shy to learn a language. You have to be bold. Okay, so so I said that this is not normal. But the reason why the students were bored is because teachers were using traditional method like worksheet, okay, passing worksheet to students. Also, the instruction was more teacher centered rather than student centered. So this is the assessment I did. I said I got to change this. Okay, so this was the current reality, the reality of the school before the project. Board classroom was bored, students were bored, and there was no engagement. Okay, so that was the reality. Now I met with the teachers and I asked them to answer the following statement. And I asked that was our first meeting. So I met with the teacher of my department and I asked them to be honest on this following statement. Student engagement in learning. Student interacted with the teacher. Student interacted with classmates. Students were interested in learning activity in the class. Teacher explained expectation before each activity. Teacher used a variety of technology to support student learning. Teacher connected the lesson to the student interest. Teacher provided feedback to the student. So I said, this statement, what do you think about this statement? And I asked them to be honest. Okay. So they did it, they completed all the statement, and the good thing is that they were honest. They all said that they know that the students were not engaged, and they know that they didn't use technology in the instruction. So from there, I just put the plan in movement. Now, the next step, so my capstone was only or based on two major points. I told the Spanish teacher, I said, look, if we want our students to be engaged, we got to do two big things. First, the instruction got to be student centered. No more teacher centered instruction. No more lectures in the classroom. We got to do everything student centered. It means we got to introduce project based learning. The teacher only facilitate the learning. It's not the center of the learning. So the first point is that we got to change, we got to shift from teacher-centered instruction to student-centered instruction. That was my very first aspect of the training. Okay, and then the second aspect of the training was that We got to integrate technology in the instruction. If we want our student to be engaged, we must integrate technology in our instruction. And guess what? In world language, we got many tools teacher can use for the instruction so that they can be engaged. Now, this is some of the tool I show them, but this is not all of them. We got more than that. But I'll give you an idea of what we did. Tool like film grade, student can record video. The good thing about film grade, it allows student to practice the language, to record himself, to practice the language on the topic the teacher will choose. So I show them how to use film grade. Voice thread. Voice thread is also another tool student can use. In a language class, the most important component is speaking. You can't learn a language without speaking. Okay, so our goal is to make the students speak the language. So voice thread is another tools. You can also Vocaro. Vocaro is very easy to use. Student can use this with only their cell phone. Also, read and write. Read and write is a Google add-on. And the good thing about read and write, you read the test for the student. You got many languages, your Spanish, French, even Chinese. So when you put a test in Google Form and then you add this tool, the test, the tool reads the test to the student, and that is important because it can enhance students' listening skill and also reading skill. So this is some tools I show my department and I ask them to utilize this to increase student engagement. And then, after I show them a tool, I started the coaching session. Now, in one of my master class, I learned something about the impact cycle. This is a coaching program. Okay. Now, what the impact cycle means is that when you coach a teacher, you start by the phase one is identify. You identify the need of a teacher, you set the goal, and then when you have a goal, you move to the learning phase. The learning phase is basically the strategy. What can we implement? What can we do to reach the goal? And after that, the last phase is improve. The improve phase means you sit down with the teacher and you make some adjustment. What went well in the lesson and what need to be improved, and all that is the improved phase. So I started several coaching sessions with the teacher, several coaching sessions. Remember, our goal is to increase student engagement in the class. So the coaching session went well. We did several coaching sessions, and then guess what? The result was amazing. The result was amazing. You see, teachers started doing now project-based learning. And in language class, we got several projects we can do. For example, one of the projects was to create an advertisement. We asked students create an advertisement in Spanish and in French. It means, you see, when they watch TV, they see advertisement everywhere. So we ask students to create an advertisement in a target language. We also ask students to complete activity on their phone. The result was amazing. Students were engaged and it changed the dynamic of the world language department. Now, the administration team, when I met with the administration team, they asked me to share my capstone idea to the whole school. Okay, so during the meeting, they said, this is cannot be for one language only. Share it with the whole school. From then, I started meeting with other teachers in the school to integrate technology and to increase the student engagement. Overall, the project was very good, and I think my capstone really impacted my school and it changed the dynamic. Thank you so much for watching.